So, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Cast Recording Project. Today I am one day late on the upload, so I hope you guys can forgive me. But yeah, once again, warning, there may be swearing. And in other words, we are back in Terraria here. This time we're on a different world. A world that's much more advanced than the last one. As I promised you guys, in this episode I'll be playing on my endgame world. The world where I've basically beaten the final boss a bunch of times, and I've done sort of everything that I can do except for get certain items. Also, I bought a new mouse and keyboard, so you guys might hear the keyboard a little less than in any previous episodes, so just giving you a heads up there. And yeah, let's get started here. So, first thing I want to do is give you guys a little show around of what a late game character looks like and what their items look like. Now, I did not go with a set class. I instead went with a more mixed build that is more tank focused to be able to take a lot of damage and everything. So, the rows that are important is this row up here, the most top one. This kind of section, this row is not important, like these few items here are not important. This is not important, this is not important, this is not important, this is not important, and these are less important. The most important things are the top one, these three items, and this little section. So, these are basically the sort of end game items you're gonna want. I always have some torches and a little bit of wood with me just to make sure that I can like build a house on the go if I need to or anything else. So yeah, basically this is a summoning item. It'll summon a little dragon that will kind of kill enemies for me, and I can dismiss him as well. This summons little turrets on the ground that will shoot at enemies. And as you can see, they all do quite a lot of damage. Like this one does 83, this one does 210. Moving on, you have the chainsaw, which does 162. And this one is great for cutting down trees and stuff. So, basically, yeah. It can also be used for combat purposes, like that. Next is the laser drill, which is just for mining purposes. And it has quite a long reach, as you can see here. Then is the vampire knives, which are a good late game sort of item. They don't do that much damage, only 38, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of them, and each of the individual little red blades that you see fly off do that 38 damage. And then heal you for a little bit of your HP, so that is always great. The solar eruption, another really good item. It shoots like a little sword kind of thing that does a lot of damage. And lastly, the star's wrath, which is also really good. It shoots like a bunch of stars from the sky, and they can do up to like 1,000 damage each, so it's a really good item. And yeah. Next is your healing items. These are the best healing potions you can get. They're the super healing potions that heal you for 200 HP each. They're really, really useful, especially if you're gonna go fight the final boss. And then your section up here, or my section up here, is first of all the ice mirror. Basically, what you do is you kind of like take it out of your inventory, or you have it up your hotbar there, and you press on it and it'll teleport you back to home, to wherever your base is set. So that's something to keep in mind. Next is the money trough, which will summon a little flying piggy bank, which you can store a bunch of things in, like your money. I have a lot of it, and you can store other items in here, like I have mounts and pets and everything in there. Then the safe, which is kind of sort of like the piggy bank because you can transport it around. It's a portable storage system basically, and you could store a bunch of things in here. Like in here I have my favorite weapons, like this thing, which is it shoots cats, and this thing, which is just like a lance kind of thing, and a whole bunch of weird weapons that I have no time to explain to you guys what they all do. Anyway, so yeah. Next, let's move on to your armor and your accessories. So since I'm going tank, I try to go with the thing that gives me the most defense. As you can see, I have 84, and it increases slightly at night as well. So I have the Valhalla Knights armor set, because it will increase my number of sentries. So basically these things, they do a lot more damage. And yeah, it gives you like a lot of health regen as well, I believe. And I just have this armor set with this dye on because it looks kind of cool. And that's just the accessory, if you guys remember that. Next, we have the Celestial Shell, which turns you into a werewolf at night and a merfolk when entering water. So I can show off the merfolk here, actually. So you see my head slightly changed and my wings disappeared. And yeah, it'll give you a little more defense and a bit of an increase to all stats. Next is the Ankh Shield, which grants immunity to most debuffs, and it's really, really good because if you didn't have this on, you'd be getting so many debuffs and so much trouble all the time. Like, in the late game, especially, in every situation, you're basically working around debuffs and trying to not get them. So the Ankh Shield really, really helps there. I'll get to that one last. Next is the Stardust Wings, which is one of the best pairs of wings. It just allows you to fly like that. And you can travel around, and once you run out of flight, you sort of just kind of glide down like this. And I put some dye on it because it looks cool. Next is the Frozen Turtle Shell, which is also a really good item because it puts a sort of shell that you can kind of like see fly around you, around the player when they're below 50% HP, and it reduces the damage you take by a significant amount, so it's really good. And lastly, we have probably the best item out of all of these, the Worm Scarf. This, as you can see, is rainbow colored because it is an expert mode item. That means you have to go into an expert mode world and beat one of the bosses there to get it. Thank God the boss is actually rather easy. And yeah, it basically reduces any damage you take by 17%, which is actually huge in the late game. Oh, also, as you can see here, I just turned into a werewolf at night, which gives me a little bit of extra defense. So yeah. Next is your equipment, which I showed off last video as well. You have your pet, which is just, in my case, the companion cube. I don't know why I have this one on right now. I have a whole bunch of other ones. And yeah, it'll kind of just follow you around, and it really doesn't do much, but it's fun. Then you have a light pet, which provides some light, and in my case, I think this is the either best or second best one. The Wisp, and this is what it looks like normally, but I have negative dye on it, so it looks like that. And it'll provide some natural light, and you can like kind of guide it around you and whatnot. Next is the Mechanical Cart, which is just your minecart. Again, this is an expert mode item, so I had to grind a little bit to get that, but got it in the end. Then you have your mount, which in my case is the Basilisk mount. Basically, this, when you press R, you get on the back of your mount, and you can just kind of like, it just gives you a bit of extra speed. Some of them do something like this one. If you charge through enemies, it does some damage to them. It's pretty cool. Whoops. And then lastly, you have the hook. This is the best hook in the game, the Lunar Hook. And what it basically does is when you press E, you kind of just send out like a hook that allows you to hook to any location, like a grappling hook. And what's so special about this one is there's 4 of them. So you have 1 hook, you have 2 hooks, you have 3 hooks, and then you have a 4th hook. And yeah. So yeah, that basically does it for all of the items that I wanted to show you guys. Next, let's go into... Oops, I just picked up a mushroom. Let's go into the little house tour that I prepared for you guys. So, this is what... Or, well, this is not what an endgame house looks like. This is more of a placeholder house, if you will. Because I just can't be arsed to actually build houses. So I just build little boxes with people in them. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different chests where all my stuff is stored in, like my other endgame builds in this one, this chest right here, a bed for a spawning point, this one has like dyes and stuff in it, this one has masks and other items, and a whole bunch of decorative stuff, like banners. These banners are actually pretty good, because they give you increased damage and defense from all of those things, basically. So every banner that you kind of see hanging around here gives you increased damage against and defense against all of these things. Except for these things, those are boss trophies. So yeah. Let me just show you guys some of my other endgame builds as well real quick. So they're in this chest right here. This is the room that I basically set myself, with the bed where you can set your spawn point and everything. So yeah, here's my other 2 builds that I like to run. This is the tank build that I'm on right now. The other builds, one of them not being completed yet. The first one here is my archery build. It's pretty cool. Yeah, well, it's an archer. And the other set that I have not yet fully completed is my mage build. Basically, mages just use magic and all sorts of crazy weird items to, yeah, like that, or this, or that, or this. So it's kind of crazy when you're a mage, and they're actually really good as well. But I have not yet completed that build, so it's not completely viable yet. And yeah, that's basically it for the house tour. There's just a bunch of like crafting stuff out here and piggy banks that are for storing purposes and everything. And my target gun is here, so I can test how much damage certain weapons do. So yeah, that's basically that. And I thought to myself, hey, what could we do in this episode, since it's already an episode about endgame stuff? Why not go beat some bosses? So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. But first, I'm gonna show you guys one of the other sort of events that kinda go down in Terraria, which is the reason why I have this, a pirate map. Basically, if you have one of these, you can take it out of your inventory and click like so, and it'll say, pirates are approaching from the west. So you'll get a little bit of preparation time, and then you'll enter a event where you'll have to fight pirates. This is one of the many events that there are in Terraria. Others include Frost Moon, Pumpkin Moon, which are the Christmas and Halloween events respectively. Then the whatchamacallit, the Frost Legion, which is kind of a toned down version of the Christmas one, and can happen outside of Christmas. So this is the environment, the pirate invasion is going on. There's also a Goblin invasion, Martian invasion, Blood Moon, and a whole load of others. So yeah, basically there's now going to be a whole bunch of enemies that kind of just will try and kill us. So you can see them like running around shooting at us. And our goal is to get this cleared 100%, then the pirate invasion will be over and we'll be victorious. and will have gained a lot of items and some new NPCs sometimes, some new of these characters that you can play as. And yeah. So let me just clear out these pirates here. You see they can just all run towards me, and they drop a lot of gold, which is really good because money, if you remember, is quite important. And yeah, there isn't really much that you can say about the pirate event. It's one of the more easy ones, if you will, but it's still fun nonetheless. One of my least favorite events is the solar eclipse, because it takes forever and it's boring as hell. But yeah, sadly that one happens rather often for some reason, even though it's supposed to be rare. I guess I just get unlucky with it. Let me go on top of my house here and see what's going on. And I'll explain what this is in a moment. There's a whole load of them. Sometimes there's pirate captains as well that do more damage than just normal enemies. And we haven't yet seen a flying ship, but we might get to it. Maybe. They typically show up 70%. Correct. I might not be. Haven't done this in quite a while. Yep, there we go. So this is the boss of this event photo, and it's already dead. That was the Flying Dutchman that won a ship, and it was quite literally flying. But yeah, as you can see, this event is, whoopsies, no problem for me, because obviously on an endgame character in the first couple events you're not gonna be struggling a lot, you're just gonna kind of clear it out. And yeah. So let me just finish this up here. There we go, the pirates have been defeated. You see the little message, but there's still a Flying Dutchman around, so just clear that up as well. Very nice. And I'm still hearing explosions, but I think they're all gone now, yeah. So yeah, if you want to know what a max level character or an end game character's day looks like, what I've been doing currently is trying to grow a glowing mushroom biome back way back here. And as you can see, this world is actually the purple version of the corruption, the actual corruption. And I sort of blocked it off with a little wood wall back there so it wouldn't spread to my house, because that is annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what I've been working on this max level character, and then we'll see if we can go fight some boss or something. There's a sandstorm going on in this desert, and it's annoying. Oh god. That's a horrifying creature that's chasing me. Just get rid of that guy. Okay, yeah. So basically, this is the dungeon. This is where you'll fight another sort of boss, and this is where you will fight your first endgame boss, the lunatic cultist. If you kill all these 4 guys, guy will spawn out of this mysterious tablet, and he'll just kinda try to murder you very violently. After you beat him, there will be 4 so-called pillars that you'll have to kill, and then you'll be able to fight the final boss. But yeah, here's what I've been working on currently. Over here, I've been growing this glowing mushroom biome, because I require the glowing mushrooms that spawn here if I harvest them here. See, I get some glowing mushrooms. I need those for a different item later on. Like, that's what these bars are all about. And oh my god, my inventory is full. Anyway, yeah, these bars are all about an item that I will get later on in the game. Even later on. Because I need to have an NPC move into the glowing mushroom biome. But first I have to build one. So yeah, that's what I've been working on over there. Let me actually use the magic mirror to teleport back. And other than that, I've been trying to complete my other end game build here, the mage build, as I said. I've been just trying to kind of gather up all of the materials that you need for that. Well, not the materials, but the items you need for that build. And yeah, and I've just killed a bunny. But yeah. Let me actually sell all the items to the merchant over here. The items that I got from the pirate invasion, because they give a lot of gold, as you can see. So sell a golden table, some banners, some flowers, more banners, a golden candle, a chandelier, a dresser, a golden lantern, a chair, a bathtub, even, a chalumbra, whatever the fuck that said. A golden sink, a hat. Ooh, a ring. Sell that. Sell a golden sofa, and I think that clears my inventory pretty well. Yep, awesome. And I'm gonna store the money that I just got from that, which is a lot, in my piggy bank so I don't lose it when I die. So yeah, that's kind of all that I've been doing in the basically end game here. I've just been waiting and farming and all sorts of things. So actually, let me see if we can't go fight an end game boss in the little bit, or a late-ish game boss in the little bit of time that we have left here. Get rid of that one there. So yeah, let me just make my way over to the jungle here. As you can see, I'm on my little mount here because it increases my speed by a little bit. This is another biome. This is the Hollow, which also spawns in the late-ish game, or in hard mode, as they call it in this game. And this is a happy-go-lucky friendly biome, or at least it seems like it, but the enemies that spawn in it are actually quite mean and annoying to deal with. Yeah, you can hear one of them here. Yeah, there. Looks friendly enough. It's a pixie, right? It looks nice. It's just kind of flying around doing its thing. But it's actually quite mean, because it's gonna try and attack me, even though I haven't done anything to it. And there's another one. And I hate these things with a passion, might I add. Because there's more annoying things that spawn there as well. There's some more jungle enemies that I don't care about right now because they don't matter to me. Anyway, I'm gonna go find the little cave that I have in the jungle here. Here it is. Just go down. This enemy before he kills me. Oh, this is not the right one. Where is the right one? Oh, it's over here. Whoops. I think we went into the wrong hole. Oh well. What we're gonna try to do is find Plantera, which is a boss that you fight a little over halfway through the story-ish, I'd say. And yeah, she is not that tough, but to new players she might cause a little bit of trouble. Where's the further way down? It's over here. Not there. Go down. Dumb character. It's over here. There we go. Ah. So, this is how you spawn her. You have to find one of these little things. It's called, if I check on the map here, it's Plantera's bulb, and basically you're gonna have to just get, like, a pickaxe or something, and you just kind of sort of mine it, and it's gonna say Plantera has awoken, as with most other bosses, and then you want to ideally get to a place where you have a semi-large open spot. You can check the map for where she is. So we're gonna fight her right here. There she is. She has 30,000 health, and we're just gonna try and kill her. So this is basically what it boils down to on most boss fights. You just kind of have to avoid the boss and try to not get hit by it. I mean, I can get hit by Plantera all day long. She barely does any damage to me. As you can see there, I have 500 XP and she does like 17 per hit maybe. But I still don't want to get hit. Let's switch weapons here from the Star's Red to the Solar Eruption. And she's almost dead. And there we go. So, yeah, we killed her and we get her trophy. This is not a guaranteed drop, but we got it. We get a wasp gun, whatever that means. It shoots wasps, very nice. We get a temple key, which I already have, I don't need that. We get a summon staff, which summons like a little dude there. We get some healing potions, and that I don't even think we got from her. But yeah, that's basically what fighting bosses boils down to. After Plantera, you go to this place here. This is the, whatchamacallit? Oh, actually, I need this. Hold on. There's some ore here that I want. Gotta kill that bee nest, because otherwise they're gonna attack me like that. I don't want to deal with that. After Plantera, you kind of just sort of kill the golem, which spawns in this section here. That's the temple, I think, the ancient temple or something like that it's called. So yeah, let me just quickly mine this ore here, the chlorophyte ore, because I actually kind of need it for that one thing later on. And get rid of that. Very nice, very nice. So yeah, that's basically what the end game looks like. You just kind of have to farm for different items, and you combine your different builds to make certain classes, or to just kind of stick with one set build. And yeah, sadly it involves a lot of waiting, but I still enjoy this game even when the farming in it is kind of annoying. And one last thing that I can show you guys, maybe if we have time, which we should. Yeah, we do. Whoops. I'll teleport back home and not get hit by stupid things. And I'll actually quickly sell this stuff that Plantera gave me, because it's not useful to me. I already have better items. So let me just sell that, sell that, sell that, and sell that. Oh, also to cook up items you need to be at an anvil and a furnace. And then you can turn, for example, this is probably one of the best furnaces you can get, I think. You can turn the chlorophyte, or this stuff that I just mined, you can turn it into bars, like that. And yeah, I have a lot of them, but I need a lot of it. And any leftovers that I don't need, I'll just kind of sell to this guy for a small profit. And put my money in the piggy bank here. But yeah, one last thing that I can show off to you guys is the dungeon. Let me just quickly fly on over there. The dungeon is where a lot of endgame stuff happens as well. There's a lot of very, very tough enemies, and even nowadays, even with this pretty much completely overpowered endgame build that I'm running here, it's still quite difficult for me to be in the dungeon, because enemies there just do a hell of a lot of damage, and it is such a huge struggle sometimes. But yeah, you can get a lot of very good items there. Like, I think you can get a sniper rifle which does like 200 damage. You can get a rocket launcher which does even more than that. It's crazy. Let me just not summon the lunatic cultist, because I don't want to fight him right now. He is quite tough. But yeah, let me just go down into the dungeon, delve into the depths here, and show you guys what it's all about. So the first little thing is just the descent, and then you get to these big giant open rooms. Like, you can see how much space this entire place just takes up. And you get all sorts of items that will do a lot of damage, and enemies that will try to murder you with all their evilness. There seems to be a lot less than. And you can hear these skeletons kind of running around. There's one right there, there's another one. There's one. And these guys just have a lot of HP and dish out damage like crazy. So, yeah. The dungeon is kind of a wild place. And here we have one of the toughest enemies, a 5000 HP paladin who can just kind of throw his hammer at you. And as you can see, even with all the defense I have, I still lost around like 200 almost HP in that fight, or more even. So yeah, the dungeon is kind of crazy, but there's a lot of useful items if you dare to delve into its depths. And you can actually get quite a lot of money. Like you see, I was in here for just a couple minutes so far, maybe not even like 3, and I've already got 8 gold. So yeah, the dungeon is fun, but not fun at the same time. Fun because you get great items. Not fun because you take a lot of damage and you get kinda fucked over. Also, you can get stuck here because it's a giant maze, but that's what you have your map for. Take it back out. Let me just quickly explore over here. Maybe there's something interesting. Maybe some more enemies. You can also ride your mountain here if you have one. And there seems to be a whole lot of nothing other than a few skeletons. And a giant room with more skeletons. And 2 chests. Which I've already looted. Very cool. So yeah, that's basically what the end game looks like. You'll most likely be spending a little bit of time in the dungeon, spending a lot of time fighting the last couple bosses, getting your items ready to fight the final boss in the end, and all sorts of crazy things. So yeah, what I promised you guys was that the game would pick up in difficulty first of all, as well as complexity very quickly, if you remember the first episode, and I think this is the perfect example for that, because now if I can go find like an enemy that has a lot of HP, you saw that one of the enemies, who isn't even that rare in this place, has like 5000 HP. Even the lower enemies have 400 here, so yeah, it's pretty crazy. And if you remember in the first episode, like, some of the enemies had like barely 20 HP or something like that. So yeah, this gets quite crazy. Oh my god. Huh. Interesting. I got a magic item from one of the enemies. That's cool. I might work that into my mage build. See, you can always discover new things and always get new or better items if you just grind enough. Oh, there's 2 very tough enemies, a skeleton sniper and a skeleton commander. They'll shoot a sniper and a rocket launcher at you. If you get lucky enough, you can get those as items. So yeah, I think that should just about do it. I think I've demonstrated what the end game looks like fairly well, and how it can be quite challenging actually. So yeah, that should probably do it for this episode of the recording project. And again, I apologize for being, whoops, I just accidentally killed my door there. I apologize for being 1 day late on the upload, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next week with a new game as well, and yeah, bye bye.